Hey, what is up, Frag fam? Corbin here again from Northwest Scent. So it is Monday, which means we are on to week number 14 of the weekly fragrance haul. So this was, I would say, just an average sized haul, I guess you could say. Not the biggest I've had, but not the smallest either. We picked up about 7 fragrances here. Some of these are ones that were complete blind buys. Others were ones that I've tried and I knew I wanted a full bottle. Others were sent to me for review, so we got a nice little bit of variety here. Let's dive into the video, but before we do that, let's roll that intro. Alright guys, welcome back from the intro, and like I said, this is the weekly fragrance haul episode 14. Let's jump into the video with the first fragrance that I picked up. Okay, so starting the video off with the first fragrance that I picked up within this haul. This is one of the fragrances that I have actually sampled before, and I knew I liked it enough where I wanted a full bottle, so I finally have it here in my collection now. This is coming from the house of Kilian, and this is Moonlight in Heaven. And this is a really unique, very interesting and wearable fragrance all at the same time. To my nose, it does lean a little bit more feminine, but I do find it still quite unisex. I certainly feel comfortable wearing it, but again, this is not your ultra masculine fragrance. And the reason it does come across maybe a little bit more feminine to me is this is very fruity, sweet. There is actually kind of a floral touch to this as well, although there's no florals in the actual fragrance. It's just kind of how these notes are working together. I kind of get that sweet powdery kind of style. As far as what this fragrance is about, this was actually created after Kilian took a trip to Vietnam, I believe it was, and he had coconut sticky rice with mango, which is a really awesome dessert. So this is almost kind of a gourmand in a way, although I wouldn't quite classify it as such. As far as the notes, they're replicating the dessert, which of course is coconut, rice, and then mango. And there's actually some tonka bean in here as well, bringing the sweetness to kind of give you that dessert edge. There's a little bit of vetiver in this fragrance as well, and then some other citruses. Although to my nose, again, the coconut, the rice, and then the mango with that tonka bean sweetness, those are the most dominant notes to my nose. And that's basically all that can be said about this fragrance. It's a really interesting tropical fragrance, not overly sweet like you might think for it being like a dessert style of fragrance. It's perfectly balanced with those fruity notes. And again, if you're after something that is tropical, a little bit sweet, just very vibrant, uplifting, and unique as well, definitely check this one out from the house of Kilian. So again, from the house of Kilian, my first pickup within this haul, this is Moonlight in Heaven. Okay, so the next fragrance we're gonna be talking about is one that I've been looking to get for a little while. I finally ended up picking it up here. I found a really good deal on this one. So this is coming from the house of Memo Paris, and this is Ocean Leather, which I was actually a little bit disappointed with this one. This was a blind buy. I've heard good things about it, so I kind of went for it. Sounds like an interesting fragrance as well, you know, an aquatic leather fragrance. Like, how's that gonna work out? To be honest, this fragrance does work actually really well. The reason I'm disappointed is because this has a very strong similarity to Acqua di Gio by Giorgio Armani, which we all know that fragrance. We've all probably owned it at some point, you know. It's the best-selling men's fragrance of all time. This really does have a similarity to it. It's not the exact same, but there is a striking similarity where your brain's gonna like instantly pick up some kind of familiarity with this fragrance, if not go all the way to Acqua di Gio. Now, I will say this does kind of almost like phase in and out of the like similarity or the resemblance. Sometimes it smells very similar, and then as it transitions more, there's really not much similarity there. So it's kind of a weird fragrance like that. But if you just kind of want a Cliff Notes version of what this generally smells like, it is similar to Acqua di Gio. I do find this one not quite as sweet and actually less aquatic. I do get more of an aquatic feel from Acqua di Gio. This one is just a little bit more herbaceous to me and almost sharp in a way. You know, it almost has like this green feel to it. Still very good fragrance nonetheless. I do not get much leather from it. Maybe the smallest touch in the like the dry down, but especially in the opening where it's really vibrant and citrusy, I'm not getting any of that leather at all. Nonetheless, I am still happy to have this one in my collection. Again, from the house of Memo Paris, this is Ocean Leather. Okay, so the next fragrance that I picked up is one that is a complete blind buy, or it was a complete blind buy, and this is one that I've been anticipating getting for a long time. This thing catches a ton of hype. It's considered one of the best vanilla fragrances by many, so I knew I needed to get this one and try it out for myself. Finally have it here in my collection, and I'm very happy about that. So this is coming from the house of Atelier des Ors, and this is Lune Feline, which I'm sure you guys have heard of at this point. Probably their most popular fragrance from this house, and this is actually extremely unique. Now, when I first heard about this fragrance, you know, being a vanilla balm and how popular it is, I was expecting it to be, you know, very sweet, creamy, maybe a little bit of spicy as well. I was just kind of expecting an extremely sweet vanilla gourmand, and actually this is not really, I would say, a gourmand fragrance. Yes, it is vanilla heavy, it is quite sweet, but there's a very salty side to it, as well as kind of this woody, like piney balsamic side as well. So this is not quite a gourmand. wand, and it's actually a little bit smoky and just not as mass appealing, I would say, as I was expecting. You know, there's actually, at least in my opinion, just a slight challenge to this fragrance. Again, there's kind of this like bitter balsamic side to it, a little bit smoky. That's going to be coming from the styrax, and then the Peru balsam working together. Again, there's kind of a salty side to this one as well, coming from some ambergris, but you do get a very heavy dose of vanilla as well. So it is a phenomenal fragrance, and I absolutely love it. Again, it's just not quite what I expected, and I would say maybe a little bit more challenging than I expected as well. Although in general, I do not consider this a super challenging fragrance. Again, like I already said, I'm really happy to finally have this one in my collection. It is a phenomenal scent. And again, this is coming from Atelier des Ors. This is Lune Feline. Okay, so the next fragrance that I picked up within this haul is another one that I had sampled previously, although I didn't quite remember what it smelled like. So when I finally got the bottle in, it was almost first impressions round 2. Nonetheless, I'm really happy to finally have this one in my collection, and this is actually my first fragrance to own from this house. So this is coming from the house of AMRA, and this is White Hinoki, which I got this for, I want to say maybe like $70 or something. It was a really good deal in my opinion, so I went ahead for it. And in general, this house is pretty affordable considering it is a niche fragrance house, and the fragrances are very unique as well. I haven't smelled many that smell identical to other stuff. They all pretty much stand out to me, and this is certainly one of the standouts from the house that I have tried. As the name suggests, White Hinoki, this does focus around Hinoki wood, which is a cypress style tree from Japan, although generally it brings a little bit more of kind of a brighter, almost citrusy quality to the woody note of cypress. This also has ginger in here, there's blood orange, some spices, and then actually some whiskey and tobacco as well. Frankly, I don't get much of that whiskey and tobacco. This is definitely Hinoki forward, along with that blood orange and ginger. This is a very sharp, bright, and kind of green uplifting style of fragrance. Very unique as well, like I said. There's actually something almost nostalgic with this fragrance as well. I can't quite exactly pinpoint what it is, but there's a definite familiarity with this fragrance. Nonetheless, it still is a phenomenal fragrance. As far as other fragrances, there's nothing else out there that smells like this one. Really good stuff for the money, and it's actually pretty long lasting as well from the experience that I have with it so far. I got like well over 10 hours with this stuff, which for the style of fragrance which this is, I think that's pretty good. And again, coming from the house of AMRA, this is White Hinoki. Okay, so the next fragrance that I picked up, I actually got 2 of them in the same package, and these were sent to me for review. I have not released my first impressions of these yet, so I'm not really gonna talk about them here in this video. I will just show you them really quickly. The first one, this is coming from the house of Les Fleurs du Golfe, and this is Night Flower. So interesting fragrance. I really like the juice color, but like I said, I'm not gonna talk about the fragrance just yet. You're gonna have to wait for my first impressions video, which will be coming out here soon. And then the other one from the same brand, this is called Sapphire Vanille. So definitely check out that video going forward if you guys are interested in seeing what these guys are about, but let's move on to the next fragrance. Okay, so we're actually on to the last fragrance for within this haul, and this is probably one of the most hotly anticipated fragrances of 2021. I just did my first impressions a few days ago of this fragrance, and if you guys missed that, I will try and remember to link that one above. Coming from the house of Dior, however, this is Sauvage Elixir. So, like I said, you know, as soon as this got announced, this thing just blew up. Everybody's been talking about it. How good is it gonna be? I actually think it's a really solid fragrance. It's probably my favorite Sauvage flanker. I'm not gonna get super in depth here just because, again, I already did an entire video dedicated to this one. If you guys wanna see that, again, check out the video that I linked. Awesome fragrance though. I actually do think it's a really solid release. So again, from the house of Dior, this is Sauvage Elixir. Well, there you guys go. That was the weekly fragrance haul, episode 14. Be sure to let me know down in the comments section below which fragrances you guys recently picked up, even if it's not within the last week. Even if you haven't bought a fragrance for a month, what was your most recent purchase? I would love to hear all about it. Overall, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, I would really appreciate dropping a like just to show your support, and then that way more people can see my videos on YouTube. Additionally, if you want to write a comment, maybe just let me know your thoughts, as well as some new video ideas or topics, that would be great too. And since you're down there doing all that stuff, if you have not already, if you could hit the subscribe button and then the bell notification, that would be amazing. That way you stay up to date on new videos whenever they get released going forward. But with all that out of the way, that's all I really have for you guys today. So I hope you have a good one. Stay healthy, stay wealthy, and smell great.